Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, heart full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to. Something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to. Something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
Well, good afternoon, John.
Good afternoon, Ben. How are you?
Not good in the slightest. How are you, John?
Yes, I'm actually all right, but I believe you've been going through the wars again.
Yeah, so I'll tell you exactly what happened. I'll give you a little rundown. So last night, quite late, I had a bit of a little shaky, a little seizure, right? And the back left molar in my mouth, I grinded the teeth so much that the whole back came off, right? I'm in stupid amounts of pain right now. Also, it transpires a bit came off the top one as well during the thing. I've done everything I can to get into a dentist. Nobody in my local area, and in fact, after cursory research, 90% of dentists in England will not accept an NHS patient. So what they've told me to do, they've all given me the number for the out-of-hours emergency dental service, right? And I'll tell you what happens there, because they told me today on the phone. They won't provide me any treatment, John. What they'll do is they'll provide me a prescription of some kind, maybe some antibiotics, to just tide me over until I can get a dentist. And I don't have one, and I can't get one. And I've been ringing around all bloody morning. So what am I meant to do?
Well, it doesn't sound right. It sounds like the NHS are denying you treatment.
110% they are. But secondly, one of them said, oh, we'll be able to see you this afternoon if you give us £120 up front and then give us any money for any treatments that you have. I don't have £120 in my bank account, so that option's out to me.
No, this is. I think you need to. I think you need to either speak to. I'm not quite sure, but I think you need to bring this up with someone, maybe even your MP.
Maybe, but I'm taking more painkillers than are probably safe.
Have you
prescription
phoned?
painkillers?
Have you phoned NHS 24?
No, but
Well, I would try that as a starter.
I honestly just don't know what to do at this point.
Well,
I'm struggling. And I'm going to struggle through this show.
I would phone
by the way.
NHS 24 and tell them that you're being denied treatment.
Like Trudy said, it's disgusting. If you went to A&E, they'd send you home. And this was the option that I had last night. So I had a look at that option. And the option was that they would send me to their maxillofacial clinic, which does not open until 10 a.m. today and won't provide me treatment. Yeah,
I don't understand this won't provide you treatment business, because that's not on. I mean, if this happens up here, you get sent to the dental hospital in Glasgow and they will fix your teeth. Okay, they are students generally, but they will fix your teeth.
I'll tell you what, it would be cheaper to find like a cheap flight to Egypt.
You could fly up to Glasgow. NHS tourism. This is freaking ridiculous. Anyway, right. So the Super Bowl. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I didn't watch the game itself, but I watched the halftime show. I always watch the halftime show. It was a bit late for me last night, so I watched that this morning. But before we do get onto that, should we give them a little sneak peek of something, of what this show will look like, mostly from next week?
If you wish.
All right, let's do it. Let's give them a little sneak peek. All right, are we ready?
Peek. I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm going to have to turn this off and back on by the looks of it.
Right. Get a lovely black screen that says EOS webcam utility.
You do, but you've now got
Ben and his awesome gloriousness.
Hello.
You look like who's the guy that? Yeah, you ever seen From Dusk Till Dawn?
Mm-hmm.
You know the guy that one of the singers who's got the you look like one of them.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Well,
lovely.
This is not for now because it's not all dialed in and I don't have the correct power stuff at the moment, so this is on a battery.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd give people a little sneak peek.
That's lovely. It's lovely. Thank you.
The upgrade.
So first of all, the thing that I wanted to talk about on the Super Bowl was the fact that they didn't sing the national anthem.
Well, you said that you sent me a thing. Hold on, I'll look at the slides because it's on the slides, isn't it?
Yeah.
They sung a black national anthem.
Yeah.
So please, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what is a black national anthem.
There isn't a black national anthem.
Are you sure?
Well, because there isn't a black nation. The
Wakanda,
USA is one nation.
But Wakanda.
No, this isn't Wakanda. Wakanda's not real. It's a fictional place. I hate to burst, and I know there are many black people out there who are probably not watching the show, but I've just burst their bubble because Wakanda does not exist.
They've got vibranium, John.
No, they don't.
Do you know what?
They've got unobtainium. That's what they've got.
I watched Wakanda Forever yesterday.
Yeah, why?
Well, after I watched Wakanda Forever, my tooth exploded after having a seizure. So that's oh my God, it was awful.
The Black National Anthem has nothing to do with the regular National Anthem one, I can assure you. And I think there was a lot of people upset by it.
Well, I don't understand why you would have a black national anthem.
Well, you don't have a black national anthem. That's the thing. There isn't one.
No, but what I'm trying to articulate is I don't understand why you would try and create one.
Yeah,
right?
well, I can.
There are black nations out there, obviously, African nations and stuff like that, and they have national anthems.
But
if it's a black national anthem of the USA.
Yeah, but of course you can understand.
There isn't one.
You can understand why they tried to create one. Because they really want to stir the plot, don't they? They want to stir it. They want to create diversion. Woke. Yeah, woke. That's it. That's all it is. Woke. Woke.
Woke.
What about Rihanna?
Well, is that
That was a Super Bowl.
It was a Super Bowl. And do you know what? I watched the halftime show this morning. And she was very noticeably pregnant, okay? Which is fine. But I found it very weird watching a very noticeably pregnant woman doing all this provocative dancing, like grabbing herself between the crutch and then rubbing herself up her baby bump and grabbing her ass and stuff. Now, if people like that, that's fine. I just found it a bit weird to watch. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I've no interest in watching it.
No.
The whole thing's just gone downhill massively, I think.
Well, actually, I will say, despite the fact there was those weird people covered in facial, I guess, wrappings instead of masks a couple of years back, I quite enjoyed the Weeknd performance a couple of years back. And last year it was, what was it? It was Eminem, Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, and there was one more, Kendrick Lamar, all performed together. And I quite enjoyed that performance. And I would have enjoyed Rihanna's performance if she wasn't miming through half of it. And as far as I could see, she was miming through half of it.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm not here to criticize that. I'm a live singer. You know that. I would be if I wasn't in so much fucking mouth pain. But nothing irks me more than watching a so-called live performance and seeing the performer just going like the Milli und Vanilli.
Yeah, okay. Shall we move on?
Well, by move on, you need to make yourself big. And you need to welcome these beautiful people. Say they're beautiful. Call them beautiful.
People of the world, we come in peace.
We come in peace.
We'd like to welcome you to this episode 198 of Chasing Dissent Live with me, John, with Ben, and with Giorgio Tsoukalos. Or not, as the case may be.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave.
You have a hamster on your head.
So the aliens, John, they came down. They came down and they definitely impregnated the women and they created hybrids. Okay, John?
And
that's what they did.
And one of them's called Boris Johnson. I tell you what, though, Giorgio Tsoukalos is quite funny because someone asked him what's happening to his hair, and he says it's slowly being abducted. Which I think that's pretty good. I mean, the guy's got a sense of humour. My hair is being slowly abducted.
Well, it's being slowly taken by the visitors, and what they're going to do with my hair is they're going to make hybrids. He's fucking obsessed with hybrids, isn't he, old Tsoukalos?
Oh, he's funny though. He's funny.
Oh,
Well, I like him. I think he's quite good. And he knows that. I mean, he loves the meme thing. You know that. I know it's alien. He says his fans are fantastic, and he loves it. And he loves being a meme. He thinks it's brilliant. And I think he is. He's just. I think he's just generally a decent type of guy, and just loves what he does.
I love what we do, and I love the memes. If people want to make them, and I say by people, it's Vaughan. Vaughan makes the memes, doesn't he? Every now and again. Have you ever seen any of Vaughan's memes?
I can't remember.
They're quite disturbing. I'm not going to lie, but
can't remember. I've seen
Jay Franklin says Boris would be proud of that hairpiece, Ben.
Yeah. I think he actually said headpiece.
Yeah, well, I interpreted it to mean exactly what it is, because it is a hairpiece.
Yeah, okay. Talking of hairpiece. So Nancy here. Nancy was well, it wasn't really Nancy, it was the commentator guy was saying he never heard heckling like it at a State of the Union address, and I think that's quite good. I think it's time they started heckling Biden because he is rubbish.
Yeah.
Give him a good heckling.
Well. Okay. Let me back you up a bit here, right?
Okay. Beep,
Should we
beep,
be
beep.
heckling an old man with dementia?
Should an old man with dementia be the president of the
No.
United States?
No.
So yes, then we should be heckling him if he is the president of the United States.
Or should we be heckling the people who are obviously using the old man with dementia to further their agenda?
Well, how do you do that? You can only heckle the figurehead.
Yeah, and maybe Kamala.
Well, Kamala
no.
Toe. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I bet she's been.
We mean to go on.
I bet she's been called that before. Don't you think?
We'll start as we mean to go on, eh, John?
Yeah, why not?
Anna 007 says the Sudanese authorities have approved a deal to create a naval base of the Russian Navy in Port Sudan.
Oh, stop. Where are we? What's going on?
We're on the next slide.
Oh, you're moving ahead. You're moving
I
ahead.
am.
Oh, so you are, right. Okay, so go on. Right, carry on.
You read it now.
No,
killed
on you
my-
go, on you go.
You've killed my flow, John.
You were doing lovely. On you go, on you go.
And all you people, I see more likes.
Oh.
Sorry, I see more viewers.
Oh,
than I
well,
do
right.
likes.
What? I'm gonna have to stop you there. Right. So, we're only 14 minutes into the show, right? Now, I'm all for likes, and I'm all for people watching, and I'm all for shares and everything and evangelizing, but I think you've got to let people understand if they actually like the show or not. So,
Put me big screen.
pardon? Put
Put
you
me
big?
screen now. Yeah. You do like the show. Anyway.
Right, carry on.
Well, yes, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I know John's telling you, to take your time. If you don't, I really will send the boys round. So it's entirely up to you. It really is. So anyway, the Sudanese authorities have approved a deal to create a naval base of the Russian Navy in Port Sudan.
Yeah.
Russia will have its first base in Africa since the Soviet era. Awesome. That's how to deter NATO, says this text or tweet. Well, of course, Russia was going to be allowed to have bases there because isn't most of Africa basically owned by China now?
Yes.
Let's face it, we got to, look at the situation at hand. Pretty much all of Africa is colonized by China.
Yes.
And they still want to call us colonizers, and we are, at our current rate, are not doing anything of the sort. We're not doing what China are doing.
No, we're not.
Belt and Road Initiative, baby. Look it up. Belt and Road.
It's Belton Road.
Belt
It's
and
like,
Road.
you have no idea what China's up to, and it's like I'm gonna have to knuckle down and get my video series done this week because
I think
there's
you're
just
gonna
so
have to.
much. Yes, I'm gonna have to knuckle down and get it done. I'll get it done this week.
I would like to address a quick question to the audience before we move on.
A quick question to the audience.
So me and John have been working hard on changing our audio setups, and we should both sound different to you. John should sound fantastic, and I should sound louder. So please let us know in the chat. Is this coming through? Are we good? Is the levels good? Do we need to make any tweaks? Let us know so that we can provide a good quality product for you. Anyway, moving on. What the New York Times got to say for us, John?
The New York Times have reported on this Yale economics professor who has some ideas on how Japan can cut down on its aging population, because Japan's in a bit of a problem just now, and in fact Japan will feature in one of my upcoming videos. But yeah, but Japan does have a problem in that it has an aging population, right? And it's not necessarily got enough young people in work that's going to be able to support that aging population. So this economics professor from Yale suggests mass suicide of the elderly, or including ritual disembowelment, if they so feel that, Harry Carey. I think he's maybe gone I think it's a he, but I think he's maybe gone a bit far. I mean, you pride yourself in being somewhat of an economics student. So, what would you think? Is that an acceptable term of reference for an economics professor to come up with as a solution to a monetary problem?
I mean, it certainly is a solution.
It's a bit novel, isn't it?
It's definitely not one that I would advocate. And you know me, I advocate euthanasia, right?
Yeah.
I always have done.
Where appropriate.
I think this is extremely inappropriate. I think he should no longer probably be a Yale economics professor. This is the kind of thing where you look at it, you go, mate, you might have gone a bit off the reservation. Maybe it's time you retire young. Let's put you into that aging population, shall we? Let's send you off for your pension. We'll deal with it a different way.
Is it Logan's Run? Are we approaching Logan's Run?
Did you ever see that movie? I think it starred Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
And they had clocks on their arms.
With 13? Yeah, 13 was his mum, wasn't she?
Well, I think it was called like About Time or something.
Yeah. I can't remember her name, but that girl that was in House, she was playing his mother, and she ran out of time.
Well, what I'm
running for the bus.
Well, they stop aging, don't they? They stop aging.
Yeah, completely.
And they just get a clock on their arm, and if their clock runs to zero, game over.
And you only get to top your clock up with credits,
working and things like that. And
credits.
Yeah.
Good credit.
This is the kind of thing someone like this would advocate.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, if it were possible, this is the kind of thing somebody like this would advocate. They'd be like, right, how about we give them a clock, biological clock, right? And when they not witch, they die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think they would advocate that.
Do you know who else would advocate such a thing?
Bill Gates.
Herr Schwab.
Oh yeah.
We are the elite, John. We are the elite, and you will do what we say. I actually look better leaned right in like this, don't I?
You look lovely. You look lovely, old boy.
I know that I do. I always look so lovely, John. I look the loveliest.
Right. So this whole thing is USAID, right? Have launched new locally driven initiatives to help independent media thrive and reach new audiences. Okay.
Hello, we are the independent media.
Yes, we are, but they're doing it in foreign countries, and they're encouraging independent media in foreign countries to take on corruption and increase civic engagement in foreign countries, like in Budapest, which, as far as I was aware, was in Hungary.
Hungary.
Yeah. So,
I tell you, this so-called fucking thing is probably CIA backed.
Oh, definitely. That's reeks of Radio Free Europe.
It doesn't it just?
Yeah,
right?
this is CIA. This has got CIA stamped on its head and its ass.
Yeah, I agree. This is CIA. This has got CIA written all fucking over it.
Yeah.
If you would like to finance some independent media, some real independent media who will speak truth to power on the corruption, you can come to patreon.com/chasing dissent, or indeed coffee ko/fi.com/chasing dissent, and you can finance some very truly independent media. Daddy needs some dental work. Please donate generously. Sorry.
On the subject of American authorities and organisations, the CDC have added the CV treat to the childhood vaccination schedule. Now, I don't quite understand why. Well, I do understand why, right?
I also do not. Well, I also understand why.
I know why.
I also understand why.
Because if it's on a childhood list of vaccinations, then it's exempt from being prosecuted.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's on it.
I mean, as long as it's at the parent's discretion, just like every other treatment, as far as I'm concerned, should be at the parent's discretion.
Everything should be subject to your bodily autonomy, shouldn't it?
Absolutely.
But we'll see what happens. But yeah, And you can imagine what's going to happen, because then you'll suddenly get nurseries going on. No, you haven't had your course of treatments. You cannot come to nursery.
No, you cannot.
You're banned. And then, you cannot travel anymore. You can't go to this state because you haven't had your course of treatments. And I mean, it's insidious. It really is insidious. It's mission creep and then some, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And Natasha says in the chat, the CDC gets generous donations from major drug companies, John, I would imagine. Not just the CDC, the FDA, the media, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at all of these things.
The
Sponsored
medical
by Pfizer.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go to America and turn the telly on for more than 30 seconds without seeing a drug company advert.
No.
It's ridiculous. And the thing is, they're advertising directly to you, the public.
Mm-hmm.
They're not advertising to doctors. They're telling you to go and ask your doctor to give you something.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole system is screwed up. I mean, our system's screwed up, but theirs is even worse.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, man. I do. I completely agree. I am going to go hard on the NHS today because they're fucking me about. Yeah, It's getting worse again. I've got some tramadol here that I can knock down, which is well above my daily dose, but I'm having to do these sorts of things just to fucking stay afloat at the moment. But you're right, and Natasha's right in the chat. The whole lot are utterly corrupt. It's a corrupt system. It's a corrupt, and they have too much power. Big pharma, big government, big tech. All of these people, big media, all working in conglomeration with one another, have just far too much power. They have far too much power over your life. What drugs you do take, what you see is positive, what you see is negative. They control everything. And remember, if you're funding a TV station, like CNN, and you're giving them millions and millions of dollars in sponsorship, like what companies like Pfizer do you think you would expect that you would have some kind of editorial oversight over what they produce? Because I think that they do expect that, and I think that they enact that. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I think you could be right, Ben.
I think I'm definitely right.
Yeah.
Do you really think CNN are going to do a Project Veritas? Have they mentioned Jordan Walker?
No, I don't think they have.
I mean, I can't say anything more on that because there's still something really weird going on at James O'Keefe and Project Veritas. But obviously we don't want to be taken down by giving our thoughts on the incident. But of course they're not going to mention that because their overlords who provide the millions of dollars a year in sponsorship are saying, don't talk about that. Don't talk about that.
Yeah. And speaking about overlords and people who have got too much power, so the police are now having a look at it as they step up the S&P fraud probe. So I think she is under pressure, and I think it's the only way that we'll ever get rid of her is if we actually maybe prosecute her, because she's never going to resign unless she's forced to. No,
you're right.
The woman's ego is too big.
She's not going to resign. She thinks of herself as the King of Scotland.
Yeah, she does. Yeah,
she thinks of herself as the King of Scotland.
She does. Yeah.
I'm Nicola, and you will do exactly as I say.
Freedom at all costs. Speaking of freedom at all costs, right? Councillor Mary McNulty said, "Fantastic turnout at the old Tesco Parkhead for Yes Scots. We are a movement with momentum." Now, unfortunately, Mary, I think the momentum appears to be going in the wrong direction.
I also want to surmise that this is a piss take Twitter account. It's got to be.
No,
it's got to be. That's got to be a troll.
No, that's a real councillor.
I don't believe you.
I think it is.
I don't believe you.
Anyway, it was funny. I probably should have gone in the funnies, but I thought it was funny. Right, speaking of things that should be in the funnies but aren't, and are not there for a particular reason, right?
Because, sorry, I think I've just missed a call from a dentist.
Oh, good grief. Anyway, what are you going to do? Are you going to break up the show now, or are you going to continue?
I'll call it back later.
Right. So this tweet from Stu Peters, I think he's trying to be funny, right? But I don't like the juxtaposition of the way the tweet has been put forward, right? Because this heart-made cloud over Turkey just before the earthquake struck that killed 24,000 people. Cloud looks very familiar, but I can't put my finger on it. So he's alluding to the fact that we all know what the cloud looks like, right? Well, most of us would. Maybe Vaughn doesn't, but the rest of us do. But the thing is, it's nothing to do with Turkey. That cloud was shown on the BBC or something in January last year.
Listen. We've said this a million times, right? This is why we're not members of any groups. This is why we take no sides on anything. This is why we're not part of, say, the Together Declaration or anything like that. Because quote unquote misinformation, right? And I hate using that term.
Yeah.
But quote unquote misinformation occurs everywhere. It could be someone you really like.
Yeah,
it could be someone you really like, and it could be misinformation that's affirming a belief that you may hold, but it doesn't mean that it's true, right? And I'm sorry, but I don't think that this Turkey earthquake was anything but a natural disaster.
I agree.
People can have a go at me. People can say what they want. They can say, "Oh, it was definitely HARP," or I don't think so. And you're allowed to disagree. You're allowed to think what you want. That's the great thing about what we do here and these conversations that we have. But personally speaking, I'm giving my opinion, and my opinion is it's all a load of tosh.
Indeed. And moving on, speaking about a load of tosh, Yoel Roth here. With these, so, I mean, as you know, the Twitter executives are in front of Congress just now in an investigatory phase. And Yoel argues that free speech is a threat to free speech. And that's why they had to take actions they did, because you can't have people speaking freely because it might impinge on people speaking freely. Yeah. And really, the least said about that bunch, the better. It'll be interesting to see what happens, as a result of it.
Yeah, I agree.
But we'll see. And then, and the NHS still striking here.
I don't know.
Because I haven't seen
they could be.
Yeah, I haven't seen a resolution, so I'm assuming that they'll be striking again. And yet, and I'm not knocking them for doing it, right? But they've set up a field hospital, a British field hospital, mostly staffed by the NHS, set to arrive in Turkey, okay, to help out, which is great.
Which is fine.
Great, but who's going to man it? If it's manned by the NHS and the NHS is undermanned and we're struggling to do things and we can't provide services to our own people, yes, it's horrible what's happened in Turkey, but like I say, does charity not begin at home? If you can't provide for your own people, how can you possibly go and provide for others?
No, you're right.
No,
you are right.
And that might sound like a miserable old git for that, but really, you got to look after yourself first. And that's why, when you're on an airplane and it's going down and the oxygen mask pop down, they say put yours on first.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Because if you conk out, if you put your child's on and you conk out, your child's not going to be able to put yours on necessarily. So put yours on first.
No, I agree.
Look after yourself,
I agree. And, once again, I'm someone personally being inflicted upon by this system at the moment.
I think a lot of us are, and it's not, and it's in insidious ways as well, because I think a lot of regular treatments and opportunities to see your doctor or not to see your doctor, as the case may be. I think someone said the GP. Why is the screen flashing? Is your screen flashing?
No.
Right.
And the screen isn't on YouTube as well.
It isn't flashing on YouTube.
No, it looks fine.
No, it's just occasionally.
I don't know then.
Right. So anyway, so the thing is, I think it's I think Right, let me spit it out. Someone said that the GPs were in disarray, and really the service was failing, and no, the service stopped. The GP service stopped in March 2020,
Of course,
and it has never resumed properly since. It still hasn't.
It's not just the GPs; it's the NHS as a whole, mate.
Yeah, I know.
The NHS as a whole has completely it's abandoned us.
And because the GPs have never resumed their service, and people have got to the point where they're desperate, they're flooding hospitals.
Yeah, they've abandoned us, and that's the thing. I've contemplated going to A&E. I've contemplated it myself over the last sort of 12 to 18 hours. And all I'd be doing, right, first of all, is taking away an accident and emergency spot from someone who may need it way more than I do, right? That's the first thing. So, and the second thing I'd be doing is going there as a waste of time to be told, basically, we're not going to do anything for you. So I've taken up a space that someone else may need. And also, I'm going to put this on so many people that are using A&E right now. You shouldn't be there. A damn lot of you shouldn't be there. You should be at your GP surgery. But I also can't put that on you because your GP surgery should be opening their fucking doors and seeing you.
Yep.
So it's the same with dentists, right? I was abandoned by my dental surgery during lockdown. And then they made a load of appointments for me that they didn't even bother telling me I had after they cancelled appointments that I did have. And then they removed me from their books without telling me.
Yeah, I know, and my doctor did the same. He removed me from his list.
I mean, they didn't even tell us. They didn't even have the courtesy to tell either of us that they'd done this, right?
I know.
Well, yeah, of course.
And the thing
okay.
is, yeah, I mean, and
Harold
the thing is,
says in the chat,
all their communications were meant to be electronic anyway, because he didn't want to spread COVID by sending you a letter. But you got nothing.
Trudy says, I saw a heavily pregnant woman get refused from A&E because it was a dental issue. But that's going to happen. I mean, I put in my tweet earlier on, I might just make do with some fucking forceps off eBay and see what happens. Because I'm getting to that point where I'm going to try and pull this damn tooth out myself.
Pliers.
What choice do I have? What choice do I have?
Ooh, it's going to be horrific.
What choice do I have?
Right.
Well, no, I got no other choice. And the thing is, I could ultimately make it a hell of a lot worse by doing this, by the way.
Oh, you could, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to go back to the old blacksmiths, aren't we? The blacksmith will pull your teeth for you. Speaking of victim blaming, I think Nazir's right here, because I think these people were making, while their protest maybe went beyond what one would consider normally acceptable, okay, I think they're getting to the point where this whole situation is getting so ridiculous that if you don't take an extraordinary step when it comes to protest, nobody pays you any attention.
So listen to me. When it comes to this protest in Knowsley, right? I said to Jess, who works behind the scenes with us sometimes and stuff like that, I said to Jess at the time this was going on, we were having a conversation, and I said, a police tactic is to leave one of their vans abandoned in the middle of one of these protests so that it gets damaged, and then that can become the front page news. That can become, and that can smear the crowd. And what happened? The police abandoned the police van right in the middle of the crowd just so that they could take out some rage on it. It was a setup. It was an absolute setup. And looking at they've already got several things wrong, such as calling this crowd of people far right. That term that has no meaning anymore, does it? Because they don't know the politics of the people standing in the crowd. They don't.
You're right, and let's be fair. You'd go a long way in Liverpool before you found a Tory. Would you not? But by the same token, I hate this term far left as well, because people they're not far left and they're not far right.
No, but they're the same thing. They're the same thing. They want the same things.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
They just call what they want different things. Like they both clearly want some kind of racial segregation. One will call it an apartheid type situation, far right, and one will call it safe spaces for people of colour. They're the same thing.
They are. Yeah.
It's racial segregation, no matter which way you look at it. Right?
You're 100%, 100% right.
They want the same things. They just can't agree on the methods or what they call those things. Far left, far right, two sides of the same coin, two cheeks of the same arse. Both willing to use violence and intimidation to get what they want. Both inherently racist. Both inherently sexist. Both inherently homophobic. Right? And far left go, oh, we love people of color. Well, why are you calling them people of color? First of all, just call them people.
Yeah.
They're people. I don't care what color you are. I'm not going to treat you any differently. What color you are. Right? But they want to point out things like and legislate based upon the color of your skin. This is racist. They are racist. They are homophobic. It's like conversion therapy. The far right want to do it by praying the gay away. The far left want to do it via other means, but they will still do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not gay. You're not gay. You're just trans. And you see that within the trans activists.
Yeah, I know, and then you get people who are like, you get people that they'll pick on people who are gay or lesbian or whatever, and say you don't support trans because
you're not the right type of gay.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
not the right type of this.
The whole thing's just ridiculous.
I don't care.
Speaking of borderline ridiculousness, what's going on here now, right?
So this is confirmation, actually, isn't it, of what I was talking about on Friday night?
You said on Friday night that he looked like he had a black eye.
He's got a fucking black eye.
He's got a black eye. Yeah,
he's got black eye.
This is the black eye on its way out, I would say. So he's had it for a while.
A couple of weeks, maybe.
I don't like to. Yeah, it's possible. Because you can see the swelling is still there. Right?
Yep.
It's coming down, but there's still the mark, and there's a bit of yellowish bruising. If you zoom in on it, you can see you can see it quite clearly. And you can see it's been made up, obviously, for TV. Now, he came across on TV as too comfortable and polished, says Rob.
Well, I'm not going to make any assumptions here. I'm not going to make any assertions here. Well, what I will say is it's pretty bloody suspect that he's got a black eye. Why has he got a black eye? But do you know what I find even worse? Yeah. I said this to you I think yesterday. I said, why is nobody asking why he's got a black eye?
Yeah, I know. It was a bit strange. And do you remember that guy, Chris Hunt?
Yes.
Well, somebody has put together a clip of his TV interview and Chris Hunt's TV interview. And the words and mannerisms and way they say things is very similar. And
they've both been coached.
Yeah, but and I make no correlation, or I cast no aspersion on that. I'm just saying, it's similar. It's a similar behaviour pattern.
Natasha says, I expect one of her family may have biffed him once. Absolutely possible.
Possibly. You say they've been coached, but it takes a while to get someone comfortable in front of a camera.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, right, look at you. You were a mess.
I'm a mess right now, John.
Look at me. I'm just shocking in front of a camera. I'm so uncomfortable. It's unbelievable.
Although, despite the fact that the left side of the inside of my mouth is currently swelling up, I'm in agony, I still absolutely look fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Look at me. Look at just. Come on, John.
Yeah, you look great.
I know. They know it. More importantly,
I feel really tired today. I look tired as well. You're just catching up with me.
John.
My youth is being slowly abducted.
Just because I
don't do that because your colours went way off.
I saw that, yeah. But just because I look fantastic does not mean that you don't.
Thank you, Ben. You are such a sweetie.
Everybody in the chat here. Let's give John some love. Let's give him some support. Let's lift him up and tell him just how wonderful he really is.
Now, we mentioned this on Friday as well about Ukraine and the chemical weapon thing.
Yeah.
So I've seen this from Silas today, and it's a video about Ukraine boasting about their chemical weapons and showing us how they were using them. Strapping them to drones and things and all this. Now, while we cannot say that we cannot say that this is a fully verified clip. It's a bit elaborate if it was a bit of propaganda, because.
Well, yeah.
It's just that they've really upped the production values if it's a third party Russian propaganda company putting it out.
You're right. You're right. But then at the same time, have we got the translations verified in the video?
Well, yes. See, this is the problem. It's very difficult because not that many people speak either Russian or Ukrainian.
But what I don't like is, look, the way this is framed, right? Ukraine and chemical weapons. The army of Ukraine boast about the use of chemical weapons in Solidar. Is that what they are saying in that video?
Well,
Scientists,
yeah.
Have
well,
you confirmed that?
That's no. I mean, that's what I said. We cannot verify the accuracy of this video.
What gets me is now hundreds, if not thousands, of people will like that, retweet that, share that, and it's not verified.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
not. And this is why I talk about misinformation is everywhere, and it could be absolutely true. It could be.
Could be. Yeah.
But a simple disclaimer: I cannot verify the contents or the translation of this video. Speak of it as you will. I would even share that with that caveat, right?
Yeah.
This is what is being
and that's exactly what I did when I shared it here on this platform. We told you it's not verified, and we can't speak for the accuracy of it.
But unfortunately, platforms like Facebook, like Twitter, like Instagram, even and TikTok, they're just flooded with what I would call absolute bollocks. And so many people, no matter what side of a divide you sit on, believe, buy into, share that absolute bollocks.
Yeah, they do.
Right.
This man doesn't tend to speak bollocks, Lavrov.
Right.
He's a bit of a plain speaker. He does kind of shit from the hip. And War Monitor's reports here that US officials are happy to say that the Nord Stream explosions are their work, and I think it has effectively come out that the US is quite happy to say that yes, the West did blow up Nord Stream.
Well, we know they did, right?
Yeah, I know we did, and
in our opinion.
Yeah, but this isn't opinion any longer. I think the US have effectively said, yeah, we did it.
Is that not an act of war?
Yeah.
Is that not an act of terrorism?
Right. So there's
Is
a
that
lot.
Not an act of the biggest ecological disaster in history.
400,000 tons of gas. 400,000 tons of gas goes into the atmosphere, and no one from the Greens or the ecological side of things, or Greta or Just Stop Oil or anything like that, bats a freaking eyelid.
Yeah, because
no one.
That's good climate damage.
Yeah.
I say that with inverted commas, by the way.
Yeah, and
I say
that stuff's gas. So that's like, it's a mixture of what, methane and other whatever, and that's much more of a greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide ever is.
He's right, and they're all
Now,
just hypocrites, a lot of them.
There's a thing going around just now that is again completely unverified, saying there's something big going to happen on the 23rd of February. Right. I don't know what it is. Although the US Embassy has said to their citizens in Russia to leave.
Well, I imagine the US Embassy has been telling their citizens in Russia to leave for quite some time.
Yeah, but they've told citizens that have dual citizenship with Russia, if you're an American, leave.
So what do you think is being planned? Boots, ground?
I'd hate to think so, but I mean, I don't know if I've queued it up. The next slide. Hold on.
Oh, we got a little bit of technical hitch.
No, we're all right. I can.
Fuck.
Oh, technical hitch in Ben's mouth.
I'm trying. I'm struggling at this point.
So I think what you've got to bear in mind is there's 10,000 troops, 10,000 US troops in Poland.
Oh my God, I don't have that slide.
You do. I've zipped forward a bit.
Oh, okay.
So 10,000 troops in Poland. And I mean, Richard here says, imagine if 10,000 Chinese troops were stationed in the Bahamas. Yeah, you can understand that. So you can understand the nervousness that, and this is part of the reason that Putin puts forward for the special military operation, along with other reasons about, like the biolabs and all that stuff. So, I mean, he put plenty of reasons forward. And if you look at it dispassionately, then the increase of NATO across to the east has been steady and it's just kept going, And they
I'm
really
still
said
not
they wouldn't.
willing to call Russia the good guy, right? Because there is no good guy. No matter how many times we have to explain
I
it.
never said there were. I'm just
But
giving
remember-
you a reason why. I mean, well, look at right, let's go to 1962 and Russia moves nuclear weapons into Cuba, right? Because America's got nuclear weapons on Russia's doorstep, or the Soviet Union's doorstep. So the Soviet Union moves nuclear weapons into Cuba, and what happens? The Americans go ballistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, really nearly ballistic enough to go World War III at that point.
Well, let's look at the. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of examples. I'm going to give everybody a couple of examples, just two, of things that would tell me that there is no good guy here, right?
Mhm.
So it looks like the US blew up the Nord Stream pipeline.
Yeah.
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 They blamed Russia publicly, tried to start World War III.
Yeah. Yep.
Then Ukraine bombs Poland,
Mhm.
kills 2 people.
A NATO
Zelensky-
country. A NATO
NATO
country.
Zelensky
Mhm.
goes on video and asks the West to nuke Russia and start World War III.
Yeah.
When he knew full well at the time of doing
Yeah,
that,
of course he did.
it
Yeah.
was his missiles
Yeah.
that caused that. Do we think really there is a good guy here?
No, there isn't.
No.
There isn't
No,
a good
and
guy.
I'm not saying that Russia is a good guy. They're all bad. And I'll say this again, and I said this on fucking Friday night, right? These people will send you, your sons, your daughters, your husbands, your wives, your mums, your dads to die for their petty disputes.
They will. They
Do
absolutely
you want to
will.
do that? Because I don't.
They will.
Moving on.
So apparently it's getting worse because GP surgeries start to close early because they can't afford the energy bills.
Just move on. Just move on. Do you know what? Fuck
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Fuck them.
Right. So
I know we're not meant to swear, but I'm
Yeah.
on one.
right, tell me about this, Ben, because I can't work this out. So
Right.
the National Union of Journalists,
Mhm.
okay, representing the BBC nations and regions,
Mm-hmm.
has started its ballot for industrial action of our colleagues working in BBC England. Our issue isn't about money, but a decision that threatens a unique service offered by local broadcasting. It's something every licence fee payer needs to know. You're flashing.
My backlights have decided to go on a bit of a.
Yeah.
It's gone on a bit of a wobbly.
Oh dear. Right, so it appears that the BBC seem to be wanting to take industrial action, right,
Mhm.
to protect local and regional broadcasting. It's like the BBC are just like, they're just so contrary. They just confuse me all the time.
I don't get it. And you know what, John? I've got to the point where I don't care, because NUJ journalism, gatekept journalism or gatekept journalism.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, it is a dead and dying breed. Real media, real journalism. It begins with me. It begins with you. It begins with people who are willing to just look at a situation, look at it objectively, give our opinion, but also deliver the facts as they are. And as they may not be, if
Yeah.
that's the case.
Yeah. So moving on. So, do you remember we said that Germany only had 3 days worth of ammunition?
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently we've only got 5
Oh, what a shock.
because of all the stuff we've given away.
What a shock.
Imagine that. So
Imagine that.
if something big does happen on February 23rd, I don't think we'll be part of it.
Imagine all of that, right? Just imagine. Do you know how little I'm really beginning to care? Um, I mean, I'm in such a situation right now
Yeah.
where I just look at the world and I think
Oh, yeah.
it's fucked.
Oh, yeah, it really is, because now they've come up with a zombie fungus could infect humans like in The Last of Us. Mycologists have told the Daily Mail how 3 changes are needed for the zombie fungus in The Last of Us to infect humans in the real world. There's the ant. Remember the ant I used to tell you about?
Mm-hmm.
That had this fungus that would make it climb to the top of tall stalks, and then the fungus would pop off and spread itself. So that's the mind-controlling fungus in that ant. So now they're going to say that thing's going to infect us, and we're going to do the same thing. Now, we already have mind-controlling bacteria and infections. Most people with cats are probably, to a degree, mind-controlled by toxoplasmosis. Oh, yeah. And there's Ben's picture gone.
I'm just holding my mouth for a minute. Okay.
Okay.
I had to kill my picture because
so,
I don't really want people watching me double over in pain.
You people with cats, you know what I'm talking about. Your toxoplasmosis makes you favour your cat.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this guy sent a tweet. This Italian Job 60s sent a tweet out saying, "Have we heard anything from Putin about the Turkey earthquake? Any condolence? Not a bloody thing. The great world leader so concerned about his own precious company. What would you expect from a despicable warmonger?" Well, actually, Putin was one of the first actually to phone up and say, "What do you need? What can we give you?" And ship stuff across. So, I mean, they've got 300 military personnel in Syria clearing away stuff, and they're giving Turkey military and physical aid. So, what else would you do? I mean, he phoned the guy and said, "Look, this is horrible." So, I'm not saying Putin's a nice guy, but he's making the same overtures that the rest of our leaders are. You know, we're sending aid to Turkey. He's sending aid to Turkey.
I believe he was one of the first to congratulate King Charles as well.
Yeah, I think he was, yeah.
And for our next slide, I hate to say I told you so.
Mm-hmm. Well.
And we have to give criticism where criticism is due. John,
No.
please give criticism.
Well, we don't like to see people being wrong, right? But when we point out that we don't think they're doing things right,
mm-hmm.
and we tell them why we don't think they're doing things right, for instance, it is illegal to raise money under the auspices of starting a charity.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot ask people for donations to start a charity, and which is what John apparently did. And that's not right.
He definitely did.
So the Charity Commission have apparently refused their application.
But the thing is, they didn't even make their application until people like us started asking some questions, right? They didn't make any applications to the Charity Commission.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like you say, we don't like to say I told you so, and we don't really like to drop criticism on people like this. But at the end of the day, he said he was starting the charity.
Mm-hmm.
He said that they had the money for this, you know, they were doing all of this.
Yep.
And I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Charity Commission have said they're not convinced that the charity would be for the public benefit. They're not convinced as to what exactly they were trying to raise money for. You know, so there are a number of questions that the Charity Commissions had put forward. So as it stands just now, there isn't a charity.
Apparently, he's deleted the charity bit from his bio, according to Trudy. But where is the money? Because he raised over 12 grand.
He raised over £12,000. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where the money is.
Well, he made claims, I believe, on a podcast with Right Said Fred that the money had been spent on things like a phone line and stuff like that. But I know that the people manning the phone line are not paid, so
Yeah,
they're not paid people.
yeah, I know.
And what's worried me uh, is what some people have told me. Now, I can't confirm this, and I think at some point we may need to confirm it. But I'm being told this so-called charity is sending people for things like £300 natural detoxes.
I mean,
I can't confirm that.
we tried to phone the charity. I mean, I tried on a number of occasions to phone the charity and never ever got through.
Like I say, I can't confirm that, but I've been told by people who went to the charity. Now, Trudy says she's heard this too. It worries me. It worries me because I thought a charity was supposed to provide charitable services, not send people to
Well,
pay.
right,
Trudy says crystal therapy as well.
yeah, it's not a charity, right? Whether he's been trying to give people correct advice or not, it's really up to each individual person to judge for themselves. I think. What I hate to think is that he would be taking advantage of vulnerable people.
See, what I'm worried about is what medical. And I know people will ask this of us for commenting on things like what medical qualifications does John Bow have to be treating injured people or suggesting treatment for injured people? Does he have actual doctors? Does he? What advice are they giving? Is that advice sound?
Good questions.
And it worries me because, like, you say you'd hate to be thinking that they're taking advantage of vulnerable people, but if people have been injured in this way, they are vulnerable people, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I would never offer up any medical advice to people, and I'd never start a charity to do so because I don't claim to be in a position to be able to do that. I can obviously offer my condolences and offer my thoughts and opinions, but I would never, ever want people to take medical advice from me because
No.
I can't. I'm in no position to give it. I am aware of what Trudy has said in the chat. I am aware that I personally know someone on the helpline. Now, are the intentions, the stated intentions, noble? Yeah, sure, right? But are the stated intentions what is going on? We need to know. And I mean, we've wanted to know about this charity and this charity number and its registration. We've been asking for nearly a year.
And to be fair, we have said, and we've said and offered for him to come on the show and explain and tell us where we're wrong. You know?
We've offered that to people who know him personally as well, who have passed on the message, so we know he's got that message.
And I mean, our Chasing Dissent account got blocked by Right Side Friend for asking a question.
Yeah.
And that question is more valid today because the question was, what's the charity number? And when was it registered? And where's the money? And those questions, well, two of those questions have now been answered.
Well, we do ask people for donations, right?
Yeah.
We absolutely do.
Yeah, I mean, we're up front.
We tell you exactly where they're going.
Yeah, it's coming to us.
Us.
Yeah. Yeah, you donate to us, we will use the money.
To keep this operation going, first and foremost.
Yeah.
But I don't think £13,000 has been spent on a phone line.
No.
I don't think £13,000 has been spent on a phone line. Who are these trustees? Who's involved in it? I know that James Melville ducked out of it.
Oh, did he? He was involved. He was involved initially.
And these are big claims to be making, saying you're owning you own a charity, and raising money off the back of the fact that you own a charity when you don't. John, we're not having a go at you. We just don't want to see you get in trouble. And I think that's what's going to happen if you continue.
Yep. Right. Right. So, let's get to the crux. Let's get to the crux of the matter. Ewan McKenna here, who recently moved to Brazil, I believe, right? He was in Portugal for 3.5 years, and now he's moved to Brazil. So this high altitude object was shot down over Alaska earlier on Friday. The White House has said. Now they're calling it a UFO because they don't know what it exactly is, allegedly, right? They did shoot down the balloon over US territorial waters last Saturday. Then they shot down something over Lake Huron on Friday as well, I believe. So they've shot down what I think are weather balloons, right? Because I don't think they're anything more purposeful than that. Have you a theory, Ben, or shall I give you mine?
I'm not saying it's aliens, John.
No, it's not aliens. Right. So the whole alien thing's just ridiculous. My personal theory is that yes, the first balloon that went over was the Chinese weather balloon. That's quite straightforward. And whether it was being used as a spy surveillance platform or not, pardon me, is immaterial. It doesn't really matter. And apparently, having done a little bit of research into it, there are good reasons for using a balloon to get different kinds of intelligence than you would get from a satellite. So, you know, that it's possible it was a spy balloon. And I think what I said initially was that I think Xi did that because of US going back into Philippines, and he wanted to be seen to be doing something. And I think that's probably what's happened. I think everything that's happened since has been a false flag. I think everything they've done since has been a false flag. I think it's been America shooting down its own kit to try and dissuade us from what's going on in the real world. Because do you know anything about what happened in Ohio? In Palestine, Ohio, Ben?
No.
No. So let me tell you, in Palestine, Ohio, there was a train crash on the 3rd of February. It was a chemical train, and it caught fire, and it put a lot of chemicals into the air. Right? It then transpired that people had to be evacuated. They thought they were going for 24 hours. They were away for more than 5 days.
Okay.
They're now telling people that it's safe to return. All the fish in the rivers around it are dead. A lot of animals are dead, and people are claiming they've got shortness of breath and rashes and things.
I'm assuming they're reticent to return.
Many of them are indeed reticent to return. Others that have returned have said they've nowhere else to go, and they can only trust the local government to tell them the truth. But that was what? That was over a week ago now.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. So, could be diversionary tactic. Right. So we've actually talked about the Liverpool thing. Yeah, so we can skip past that one and go straight to this. Is what a $299 virtual signal looks like. So someone's obviously bought the Hogwarts game. Yeah, the Harry Potter game.
What a fucking idiot.
So they've either bought it or stolen it and then destroyed it. Yeah, is that basically what they've done? I take it this was a special edition case or something that's come with.
Did you know, right, that not one of these people could ever provide a shred of evidence that Joanne Rowling is a transphobe, right? Joanne Rowling has never showed any transphobia in what she does. She simply has a stance based upon sex-based rights, right? Yeah. She fully supports, it seems, transgender people to be transgender just as we do, right? But she has a stance on sex-based rights. I'm a little bit upset that they didn't give me this copy of Hogwarts Legacy because I kind of want the game. I'm not going to lie to you. Kind of want the game. Yeah. You could have spent your $300 Plain Rock 124 or Plain Rock tweets. Yeah. And you could have given it to me. And you know what? Because me playing it is no different to you smashing it up. because you've already given the studio the money.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. You've already given the studio the money, so you might as well have given it to me. And I would happily this evening sit down and play that game. But now, because you're a selfish bastard, I can't play Hogwarts Legacy. So Plane Rock 124.
Yeah, rock
Up
on.
yours. I want it.
So, do you remember the German foreign minister who admitted she'd made a mistake? Well, who said that we were at war with Russia? When she's now admitted that to him. I made a mistake when I said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then gives a proverb: "Only he who does not live does not make mistakes." Yeah, rock on, you plonker. You've been told to do that, haven't you? You've been told to do that.
Right, let's move into the more light-hearted.
Yeah, let's rip through the funnies.
Let's rip through the funnies and let's see if I can laugh my way out of this. I might even give you another little treat on the good camera.
Okay. A pandemic is a last attempt for total control, says Blackjack Pupil 369. Is that a UFO?
Hold on.
Is it a UFO? Is it?
Maybe. How do I look?
Yeah, you look great.
Right,
Now, this one you really need to go online and look at this. This is a video, okay? I don't know how many octopuses there are there, but that is one creepy looking alien creature. I think octopuses are aliens. I don't think anything would probably... I mean, what? Show me another animal, right? That to impregnate the female of the species rips off its penis and throws it at the woman. Because that's how octopuses do it.
Hold on. I'm not saying they're aliens, John.
Yeah. So that, I mean, and I'm not jesting with you. That's what they do. They rip off their penis, throw it at the woman, and then grow a new one.
Yeah.
So,
quite terrifying, really, isn't
now,
it?
speaking of a design flaw, what the hell is going on here? It just looks like a giant ass with a butt plug, doesn't it? It's not a good look, is it? So the world's largest aircraft prototype of a helium pumped balloon and helicopter combined hybrid. What a joke! What an absolute joke!
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
Now I have to bring up Mr. Bembridge, who makes a pithy social comment here. I think this is quite accurate. So hello.
Prevent.
Yes. Recently, one of my tradesmen has been talking about politics, formulating ideas of his own, and discussing them as if he were one of us. I fear he may have been radicalised by the far right. Careful, because
Send in the boys.
it's very close to the truth, isn't it?
Send in the boys.
It might not even... I mean, in a couple of months' time, this might not even be in the funny section. It might be in this conspiracy theories that have come true. Yeah.
He's right.
I couldn't not put a picture of this up. What the hell? What the hell is this? Why is he dressed as a dark spatchcock chicken?
No, he's not dressed as a dark spatchcock chicken. I'll tell you exactly what's happened here, John.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
He went and saw Bobo the Clown just before he came to the red carpet, and Bobo the Clown tied him up like a beautiful balloon animal. And
oh no, I thought you were going to say this is what happens when you fart in a PVC suit.
No, this is what happens when you stick a hose in a PVC suit and fill the fucker with water.
I mean, that's just ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, why would you even think that was appropriate to wander about like that? It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Well, it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate in any way, shape, or form. But I'm a big lover of freedom, and if he wants to make himself look like an absolute twat on national television,
Yeah, well, there is that.
you be the biggest twat you can be, Sam. You be the biggest twat you can be.
And
Cool?
finishing off, right, with this classic advert placement. Now, I don't think you can really blame McDonald's, because I don't think they'll say, put this advert there, right? But you could probably blame someone for thinking, hold on a minute, should I really be putting this advert there?
Right.
Because it's an advert for McCrispy right beside a sign for the crematorium. So that's a bit of a classic faux pas there. So I did quite like that one. It brought a tickle to my eye. Anyway, a tickle to my eye. Anyway, enough of this nonsense. So, did that cheer you up slightly, Ben? I know you're in pain, but I think you did get a few giggles.
I got a few giggles, and I'm looking stunning. So.
Yes.
I mean, look, you guys are going to get this permanently from next week once I've sorted everything out. Bring myself into focus a bit more. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. It's just...
And there you go. So, have you anything?
Had a sneak peek. You've had a sneak peek at how good we can look, right? Feel yourselves lucky because you got this live.
Anything else you want to bring up,
John?
Ben?
I want to go and cry into a pillow.
Okay, and with that, I'd like to say thank you for attending this episode 198. If you feel so inclined and are able to, and only if you're able to, please consider dropping us a small donation in order to keep the lights on and to keep providing you with these entertaining riposts that we give you from time to time. See us again here on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. And there may be additional videos in between. We'll see how it goes.
I'm going to get back to the papers once I sorted my fucking tooth.
Okay. So, with that, thanks again for attending this Chasing Dissent Live, episode 198. It's been great. For you.
You can see the writing on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation. Too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.